Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, June 4th, and that means that it's our last official day of school, even though it's kind of weird. But because today is our last day of school, I wanted to pick out a special story for you guys today, and this story is called Last Day Blues. And when we say blues, it means when you have the blues, you're kind of sad. So this book is written by Judy Danneberg and illustrated by Judy Love. So let's see what happens when these kids have to do their last day of school. The last day blues, and look at it, looks like they're all on the bus. And look at all the adults and the teachers looking in the bus at them. Kind of some funny illustrations. So here we go. On the Monday morning before the Friday that was the last day of school, Mrs. Hartwell took attendance. She sighed as she called out the last name. "I'm going to miss all of you," she said. There she is. The kids nodded in agreement. "I'm going to miss my friends," said Shannon. "I'm going to miss Daisy," said Dan. "I'm going to miss chocolate milk and pizza for lunch," said Joe. And I know those of you in Mrs. Jimenez's class, she's probably going to really miss the pizza, huh? Well, everyone felt a little blue thinking about the last day of school. Even Daisy. I think this is Daisy. Yes. That afternoon during recess, the students talked as they hung out on the jungle gym. "Mrs. Hartwell said she's going to miss us," said Alexandra, swinging from a bar. "We should get a present to cheer her up," said Eddie, hanging upside down by his knees. But what could they get her? "I could give her the rest of my sandwich. It's my mom's bologna special," said Josh. "Or a coffee cup. Or a new pen, the kind with feathers and beads." The students thought and thought, but couldn't come up with one single idea that they agreed upon. "We'll think of something tomorrow," Eddie assured everyone as they lined up at the drinking fountain. Look what he's doing. Oh my. On the Tuesday before the Friday, that was the last day of school, Mrs. Hartwell read the final page of their last read-aloud book. "I'm going to miss circle time," said Mrs. Hartwell. "I'm going to miss science," said Emily. "I'm going to miss seeing Mrs. Hartwell wear her safety goggles during science," said Jack, giggling. And so, before they got too sad, Mrs. Hartwell put on her safety goggles one last time, just for fun. Those are pretty funny. "We definitely need to cheer up Mrs. Hartwell," said Andy during recess as he jumped out of a swing. "Any ideas about a present?" Eddie asked. "Nope," they all answered back. On the Wednesday before the Friday, that was the last day of school, Mrs. Hartwell brought in her super duper sugar cookies with extra frosting. "I'm going to miss snack time, but I can't wait for barbecues by the pool," said Jack. "I'm going to miss recess, but I can't wait to play hide and seek outside for dinner," said Alexandra. "I'll miss school, but I can't wait for summer vacation," said Josh. The class discussed their summer plans and drowned their last day blues with another round of milk and sugar cookies. Look, and they all drew pictures of places they want to go. "I don't know whether to be happy or sad today," Andy said the minute they all arrived at the jungle gym. "Mrs. Hartwell is sad," said Olivia. "She probably doesn't want the year to end." "While we're swimming, she'll be reading her old lesson plans," said Walker. "And while we're playing, she'll be trying to remember the fun times we had this year," said Dan. And that's when an idea zipped, zapped, and zinged through Eddie's brain. Eddie said, jumping down. "Oh, I know exactly what will cheer her up," Eddie said, jumping down from the jungle gym. The class agreed. It was perfect. On the Thursday before the Friday, that was the last day of school, Eddie raised his hand right after Mrs. Hartwell started language arts. "We need some privacy, please," he said. And so Mrs. Hartwell took down the bulletin board with her back to the class. She never even peeked. Well, only once. On the morning of the Friday, that was the last day of school, the students dashed into the classroom. They snapped open the shades for the very last time. They did their chores for the very last time. They fed Daisy for the very last time. And as soon as the bell rang, they couldn't wait for Mrs. Hartwell to see her present for the very first time. Oh, and look it. They made a letter for her. It says, "The last day of school makes us so blue. We'll miss recess and pizza and reading too. We'll miss Daisy and cookies and friendship true. Snack time and science and learning new. We'll miss spelling bees for our test review. And groundhogs that play peekaboo. This year's been great, a big wahoo! There are many things to miss, it's true, but mostly what we'll miss is you." Later on during recess, Eddie said, "I think Mrs. Hartwell liked her present." "I just hope it helps," Margaret said. "Poor Mrs. Hartwell," they all said sadly as they pictured their final goodbye. Teachers must hate the last day of school. And look at how they illustrated all those teachers. Just crying and waving. And then it was time. The bell rang. "Goodbye," the students called as they rushed out the door. "Goodbye," Mrs. Hartwell called after them. And then she returned to her empty classroom. "It's just you and me, Daisy," she said. "I'm sure going to miss them this summer. But I can't wait for vacation." Like they all look like they're having their end of the year party, huh? Oh, and then there's Mrs. Hartwell off relaxing and doing some vacation stuff, huh? Well, yes. So the end. So the last day blues. And you know, we didn't get that end of the year party and stuff like we would normally do. I know a lot of you have been doing your last day class meetings today, so I hope they're good. Share those things with your friends that you remember. You have good memories of this year, and we've missed out on some things. So of course we'll all miss each other, we'll miss our teachers, but hopefully we'll be right back here soon next year. We're all keeping our fingers crossed. So I hope you all have a fantastic summer. Make it the best, and I hope to see you all soon. Have a good one. Bye.